Okay, let's jump into this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something truly, truly awful. The Central Texas floods back in July 2025.
Yeah, devastating. And our main source here is a really detailed CBS News report. It focuses heavily on President Trump's visit to the area right after.
Exactly. So, our mission, for you listening, is to really go beyond just the news headlines. We want to extract the key insights, understand the human tragedy, yes, but also the official reaction.
And maybe what it shows us about leadership, when faced with that kind of immense loss.
Right. How do leaders connect with that level of grief? Grief that's almost unimaginable, really.
And then there's that tension, isn't there, between the need to promise rebuilding to make it good again and the fact that some things, well, they just can't be replaced.
That's the core of it. The source material, it really pulls you right in. It's not just about the water and the damage, but the emotional weight of it all.
It really does. CBS sets the scene powerfully. We're in Kerrville, Central Texas. It's Friday, July 11th, 2025.
And President Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, they're there, looking at the damage.
And the scale. It's hard to wrap your head around. The death toll at that point was 121.
And expected to go higher. Over 170 people were still missing.
Missing from those flash floods that just tore through the region on July 4th.
Incredible numbers.
Yeah.
And most of the dead, the report says, were in Kerr County itself.
Yeah. And, the president's own words about it are quite striking. He called it a little narrow river that becomes a monster.
A monster, yeah. He described it as a really horrific and deadly flood. A horrible thing.
Saying nobody can even believe it. That much water, that fast. It really speaks to that suddenness, the sheer force of nature turning familiar landscape into something deadly.
That transformation, yeah. And the visuals must have been brutal. The report mentions before and after pictures.
Oh, yeah. RVs, homes, just gone, swept away entirely.
So against that backdrop, the visit itself, the stated purpose was very human, wasn't it?
Definitely. The president said they were there to, quote, express the love and support and the anguish of our entire nation.
Anguish. That's a strong word. And it's interesting, the report makes a point of saying they met with victims' families.
Right, behind closed doors, away from cameras.
Which suggests maybe an attempt to separate the raw grief from the public aspect of the visit.
I think so. It kind of acknowledges the potential for it becoming a media event, right?
Right.
And maybe tries to create a space for something more genuine.
And we got glimpses of that emotion. The president apparently said, I've never seen anything like it. They lost their child or two children.
Yeah, and that he was, quote, filled with grief and devastation at the loss of life, a lot of missing children. Very direct.
And the First Lady, too, saying, we are grieving with you. Our nation is grieving with you. She even promised to come back to offer support.
It does raise a question, though, how possible is it really for a leader, any leader, to truly grieve with people when their experience is so different?
That's a tough one. Empathy, yes, but shared grief from that position.
It's complicated. I mean, the leader's role is partly symbolic, right? To voice that collective sorrow, offer some comfort, maybe direction. But personal grief is, well, it's personal.
Yeah. And the report then really brings that personal cost home. It focuses on Camp Mystic.
That part is just heartbreaking. A girls' summer camp out near Hunt in Kerr County.
And the flooding there. Catastrophic. 27 campers and counselors died.
27. Just awful. Some survivors apparently woke up with water rushing through the windows. Imagine that.
Unthinkable. And Senator Ted Cruz's account, that was raw.
It really was. He visited the camp afterwards, saw little white crosses symbolizing the lives of each girl lost.
He said he'd never seen anything more horrible. He just sat there crying.
Yeah, and he described seeing parents, a mom and dad, coming up to one cross, dropping to their knees, kissing it, the mom weeping.
God, it hits hard. It makes the numbers real in a terrible way.
Absolutely. Cuts through any abstraction. That's the human cost right there.
So, okay. Witnessing that, understanding that depth of loss, how did the official response then start to, take shape?
Well, there was a roundtable meeting. The president met with state, federal, local officials. Governor Abbott was there, Senators Cruz and Cornyn.
And the setting was pretty stark, too, wasn't it? A Kerrville fire truck, a pile of downed trees in the background.
Yeah, very much amidst the cleanup. And President Trump, interestingly, he avoided pointing fingers.
Right. He said, Everyone did an incredible job under the circumstances.
And he framed the flood itself as, a 1 in 500 years or 1 in 1,000 years event, kind of emphasizing the scale and perhaps the unpredictability.
So admiration for the response, framing it as an extreme event.
Exactly, which makes you think about preparedness, doesn't it? Especially when the report mentions that Kerr County was actually planning to start developing a flood monitoring system.
When?
Mid-July, right after the flood hit. The timing is just,
Yeah,
wow.
that's incredibly poignant. Painful, even.
Yeah. But a key thing from that meeting was the president praising FEMA.
Okay, that's notable, because he's been critical of FEMA in the past, hasn't he? Talked about wanting states to be less reliant on them.
Precisely. So, praising FEMA's work here, in this context, it suggests that in the face of such, overwhelming need, practical realities might take precedence over prior political stances.
It shows how essential agencies like FEMA become in these acute moments, regardless of ideology.
Right. It's about the immediate, undeniable need.
And then there was the promise to rebuild. Both the president and Governor Abbott talked about that.
Yes, rebuilding the region. But what really struck me and connects back to what we were saying earlier was the president's acknowledgement of what can't be rebuilt.
Ah, yeah. He said, you can never say, oh, it's going to be bigger, better, stronger. So many lives have been lost. You can't say that.
That's a very candid admission, I think, a recognition of the irreparable human loss.
But he followed it with, but we're going to make it. We're going to make it back. We're going to make it good again. So that tension again, acknowledging the loss but promising recovery.
It forces you to think about what recovery even means after something like this.
In terms of concrete federal steps, he did sign a disaster declaration.
Yeah, which is crucial. That allows FEMA to fully deploy its teams for rescue, recovery, all of that.
And he also mentioned taking historic action to prevent future nightmares like this.
He did say that, yes. Though the report noted that the specifics of what that historic action entailed weren't clear at the time.
Got it. And just logistically, he flew into San Antonio, then took a helicopter to Kerrville.
Right. And the reason given for not visiting sooner was that he didn't want to impede the ongoing rescue work, didn't want to be in their way, as he put it.
Makes sense. Now, the CBS report also included some other sort of surrounding detail.
It did. Little bits of context, like that planned flood monitoring system we mentioned.
Right. And it also touched on misinformation.
Yes, that was interesting. It mentioned false claims spreading online, trying to link the floods to cloud seeding.
Cloud seeding. Wow. Despite, as the report said, zero evidence.
Zero evidence. It just shows how, even in these moments of shared tragedy, misinformation can take root and spread. Creates these bizarre alternative narratives.
Yeah, another layer of complexity in the aftermath.
Definitely.
So looking back at this deep dive, it really is a powerful, sobering look at the human cost.
Yeah.
And the immense challenge of leadership in that kind of crisis.
Absolutely. That balancing act we talked about, offering comfort, promising a future, but having to acknowledge the losses that are just permanent.
Exactly. Which leaves us, and you the listener, with something to think about, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, what does it really mean for a nation to grieve with you, like the First Lady said? Is that promise achievable?
And how do leaders square that circle? Promising to make it good again while knowing and even saying that what was lost, the lives lost, can never truly be recovered.
It's that complex mix, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hope, resilience, the drive to rebuild, but alongside the undeniable reality of permanent loss, something that echoes long, long after the floodwaters go down.